Have you ever wondered how tall a tree is without ever climbing it? This is me, mad confused. We can use trigonometry to find the height of a tree, and let me show you how. A right triangle is when there is a 90-degree angle in a triangle. So this will be 90 degrees, usually denoted with the little square at the bottom. And we use this mnemonic SOH CAH TOA, SOH CAH TOA, in order to solve trigonometry questions. So this S in this case stands for sine, C stands for cosine, and T stands for tangent. And the subsequent letters over here represents O for opposite, H for hypotenuse, and A for adjacent. I'm using a mouse, by the way. This is why my handwriting is not that good. But anyways, if we have a triangle with a right angle over here and an angle over here that's unknown, this slope over here across the right angle will be the hypotenuse, and then the one lying on the angle of the unknown will be adjacent, and the one opposite of the angle will be the opposite. In order to solve this question, we know that this slope over here is the hypotenuse, so the hypotenuse is equal to 8. And we know that this is the opposite, so opposite equal to 4. Okay, which of these, SOH CAH or TOA, consists of hypotenuse and the opposite? So obviously sine consists of opposite and hypotenuse. So what we write here is sine x is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, so it'll be 4 over 8. And then in order to find x, it'll be the inverse. So we'll use sine inverse of 4 over 8, and the answer will be x. So let me get the calculator. And it is 30 degrees. So this is the answer. ML. So that'll be this side. So what is this side? Okay, let me clear this up. So in order to look for this side, we'll have to just see what we have right now, right? So okay, the hypotenuse. Which one is the hypotenuse? It's the opposite of the right angle, which is this one. So we know that hypotenuse is equal to 12. And what do we need to find? Because we know the angle. So let's say the angle of x, let's just say this is x, is 32 degrees, right? And we need to find the adjacent, because this angle is lying on this side over here, which is the adjacent. So we can say we are looking for the adjacent. As you start getting better at trigonometry, you'll start doing these questions in your head, so you won't really need these steps, and I don't think you're marked for having these steps anyways. You're only marked for the actual working that I'm about to do. Okay, so we know that hypotenuse is 12, we know that adjacent is unknown, and we know the angle is 32. So first of all, what includes A and H? A and H is over here, a cosine. So we'll do cosine of 32 degrees is equal to, and then adjacent over hypotenuse, So it'll be adjacent, which is unknown. Let's just label it as A, adjacent, over hypotenuse, which is 12, right? So in order to find A, we multiply 12 on both sides. Then that'll be 12 cosine 32 equals A. So you put that in the calculator and you get, let me see, you'll get 10.1765, and then it just goes on. I'm gonna do one more example for you guys, and I'm gonna let you guys try this now. All right, so the angle we're looking for is angle ADC. So put your answers down in the comments when you're done. I'll give you a while to pause the video and I'll solve it in a bit. Okay. Alright, so so first you draw an imaginary line to make this way easier. And we know that this angle is a 90 degree, right? So all we have to do is use SOH CAH TOA and find this angle. Okay? So how do we find this angle? First, we want to find the height from A to this unknown over here. Because we want to find two sides in order to find an angle, right? So right now, I'm thinking we use BC for the base, and for the height, we use A to the unknown here. And we know that 25 cm is the length of AB, and 10 cm is the length of DC. So all we have to do is take 25, like, okay, in order to find, okay, let's just name this Z, all right? So length AZ is equal to 25 minus 10, which is 15. This is AZD, and this is a right angle triangle over here. And this is the angle we're looking for. Let's just name it X, okay? We now know that A to Z is 15 and Z to D is 24, because Z to D equals to BC, because it's a rectangle, okay? And using the SOH CAH TOA, trigonometry SOH CAH TOA, we have opposite and we have the adjacent. So we can do tangent of X is equal to, and then remember guys, SOH CAH TOA, right? So it'll be opposite over adjacent. So we do opposite of X is 15 over 24, and then in order to find X, it'll be the inverse of 15 over 24, which is, let me just get on my calculator, and it'll be 46.169, and it keeps going in degrees, right? Now we take, because we want to find this angle, right? We need to find angle A, D, and C. So angle ADC is equal to 90 degrees plus, because of this angle, plus the angle we just found, 46.169, and then we'll get 136.169. And then in the O-level syllabus, if you're an O-level student, we have to round it up to the nearest decimal point, the first decimal point. So it'll be 136.2 and degrees, and that's our answer. Oh yeah, one thing I have to mention, because it's pretty important in O-levels and it comes out in a few questions, negative cosine X is equal to cosine X, and negative sine X is equal to the flip sine, so it'll be sine X, and it's interchangeable. You just have to remember this. I'm gonna go in depth in the future. But yeah, but trigonometry is really complex, and this is just like the surface, the tip of the iceberg. There's like this is you, and this is like what's to learn. So I'm gonna teach you guys the remaining of trig in the future. But yeah, thanks for watching.